Hello viewers, welcome back to our channel. Today we bring you a very interesting story you wouldn't want to miss. In this video, we will meet someone who has made records in the history of banking. Although there have been scams in the past, selling an airport to a foreign client without having them physically see it to confirm the deal's legitimacy is somewhat odd. Known as one of the greatest frauds in banking history, this scam is the third largest in banking history in the world. This is the story of Emmanuel Nwude, the man who sold a fake airport to an international bank. Emmanuel Nwude Odenigwe, popularly known as Awale of Abakana, is a Nigerian advance fee fraud expert artist and former director of Union Bank of Nigeria. He is well known for defrauding Nelson Sakaguchi, a director at Brazil's Banco Noroeste, based in Sao Paulo, of $242 million. $191 million in cash, and the remainder in the form of outstanding interest between 1995 and 1998. He is one of the smartest criminals recorded in history. To be successful in his crime, he used the personality of Paul Aguma, governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria at the time. Nwude needed other accomplices to facilitate the fraud, so he employed the expertise of Emmanuel Nwude and Zaribe Okoli and Obum Osakwe, along with the husband and wife, Christian Ikechukwu Anajemba and Amaka Anajemba, for the smooth execution of the operation. With his new personality and team, he was able to connect with Nelson Sakaguchi, the then director of the Brazilian bank, Banco Noroeste. Emmanuel Nwude, the mastermind behind the scam, had previously worked as a director of the Union Bank of Nigeria. His banking background gave him access to the knowledge, documentation, and links that made him more believable when it came to executing his scam. Emmanuel's experience as a bank director meant that he had ample knowledge of how to conduct himself in a business setting and probably had a certain confidence about him that put his victims at ease. Emmanuel pitched the idea of getting the Brazilian bank involved in developing the Nigerian economy by investing in the building of a new airport in Nigeria's capital, Abuja. He sweetened the deal for Nelson by informing him that should the deal be successful, he would be in line to pocket $10 million as commission. The promise of a hefty payout was enough to intrigue Nelson, and he fell for the scam. Between 1995 and 1998, he paid the fraudsters $191 million in cash and the remaining $51 million in the form of outstanding interest from Banco Noroeste. The biggest question in your minds right now would be, was the scam successful? Well, Emmanuel and his crew almost got away with the scam. But things began to unravel when Banco Santander, a Spanish bank, wanted to take over the Brazilian bank in August 1997. The takeover meant that thorough investigations of the Brazilian bank's financial statements were conducted. During this period, many board meetings between the two banks took place, and in December 1997, top officials from the Spanish bank questioned why almost half of the Brazilian bank's capital was sitting in an unprotected account in the Cayman Islands. As this discrepancy could not be sufficiently explained, as there was no new airport in Abuja, formal investigations were initiated. Criminal investigations also had to be carried out in multiple jurisdictions, which included Brazil, Nigeria, England, Switzerland, and the United States. In an effort to ensure that the sale of the Brazilian bank still went through, the Simonson and Cochrane families, the owners of Banco Noroeste, paid the missing $242 million bill themselves. However, the Brazilian bank Banco Noroeste eventually collapsed in 2001. Enjoying the video so far? Click on the like button and subscribe if you'd like us to make more of such videos. With that out of the way, let's get to the end of the story. When were the culprits apprehended? Although the scam took place between 1995 and 1998, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission was created by the Nigerian Parliament in 2002 at the request of former Nigerian President Olusegun Obasanjo. In February 2004, Amaka Anajemba, Emmanuel Nwude, Emmanuel Nwude, and Zaribe Okoli, and Obum Osakwe, Christian Anajemba was deceased at this point, were all arrested and charged in the Abuja High Court with 86 counts of fraudulently seeking advance fees and 15 counts of bribery related to the case. They pleaded not guilty, They were immediately warned off of bribing the court staff by Abuja High Court Judge Lowell Gumi after he alleged that money was going around. At the trial of the culprits, the defense team assured that nothing would be done to bring scandal to the administration of justice. 4 Nigerian companies, Finbas, Emrys, Ocean Marketing, and the African Shelter Bureau also faced charges and pleaded not guilty. In July 2004, Judge Lowell Gumi threw out the case, claiming that since the crime did not take place in Abuja, he had no jurisdiction, and said that the proper place for the case would be the Lagos High Court. The defendants were immediately rearrested after stepping outside the courthouse, and the case was moved to Lagos. In 2005, Nwude attempted to bribe Nuhu Ribadu, then head of the commission, with $75,000 cash. He was charged in connection with the attempted bribery in addition to the attempted kidnapping of a prosecution witness. In July 2005, Amaka Anajamba admitted to helping Anajamba and was sentenced to 2.5 years in prison and ordered to repay $25.5 million. The prosecutors in the matter managed to secure as a witness Nelson Sakaguchi, the man who had been conned into making payments for the non-existent airport. Following his testimony, Emmanuel and the rest of his remaining crew plead guilty. During Nwude's trial, there was a bomb scare that caused the courthouse to be evacuated. Emmanuel Nwude and Enzeribe Okoli pleaded guilty after testimony from Sakaguchi in hopes of a more lenient sentence and were sentenced to 29 years in prison collectively, with Nwude receiving 5 consecutive sentences of 5 years, totaling 25 years, and Okoli receiving 4. The entireties of Nwude's assets were confiscated to be returned to the victim, and a $10 million fine was imposed to be paid to the Nigerian federal government. This seems like a very small amount for someone who had defrauded a bank of over $200 million. The fine was probably a mere drop in the ocean for him. It was the first major conviction for the EFCC. He was later released from prison in 2006. Nwude filed a lawsuit to recover his seized assets after he was released from prison, on the grounds that some of the assets were acquired before the offense was committed. He has already reclaimed at least $52 million. As of May 8, 2015, the matter is being heard by the Lagos Division of the Court of Appeal. As for Nelson Sakaguchi, he was arrested at New York's John F. Kennedy Airport and offloaded to Switzerland to stand trial on charges against him relating to fraud. More recently, on August 19, 2016, the town of Okpo in the Dunukofia area was attacked by over 200 people, apparently due to a land dispute with the neighboring Abagana community. 4 policemen were shot, and Emmanuel Okafor, a security guard at a construction site, was killed. The Anambra State Police Command alleged that Emmanuel Nwude was a ringleader and arrested him on 27 charges including murder, attempted murder, and terrorist attacks. He was being held at Okap Prison in Anambra State, but was released on bail on December 8, 2016. He is the President General of the Ubane Town Union. On Thursday, 25 February 2021, Emmanuel Nwude, while testifying before Justice Mojisola Dada of the Ikeja Special Offenses Court, denied knowing the source of the $242 million that was transferred into his account. Mr. Nwude, after serving part of his 25-year jail term, is back in court alongside 2 lawyers, Emmanuel Ilachuku and Roland Kalu. All 3 face a 15-count charge of forging the documents of a property. Justice Oyewole had earlier ordered Mr. Nwude to forfeit to his victims. The property is located at Plot Y, Mobileji Johnson Street, Oregun Alawusa, Ikeja, Nigeria. Justice Mojisola Dada adjourned the case until 24 May 2021 for continuation of trial. Meanwhile, this scam is one of the biggest banking scams of the century. It is quite difficult to understand how such a scam was even allowed to happen. A deal involving millions of dollars usually involves hours of due diligence exercises by lawyers and the various professionals involved. It is mind-boggling how an established bank was able to fall victim to such a scam. Why did the bank not send a crew to Abuja to observe the construction of the airport? Why didn't Nelson ask more questions? There are so many more questions than answers to this story. But one thing is for sure, This scam forms an integral part of banking history that will be studied by bankers for years to come. In your opinion, is this a good history or legacy to leave behind? Especially when it tarnishes your name and reputation? Also, do we commend him for his intelligence or do we slam him? Let us know in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, like, and subscribe for more interesting content.